Welcome, everybody. This is your host, Fatty Arbuckle. It is April 6th, 2020, and the coronavirus is here. I looked out of my window today, and I saw people outside. How dare you? We will not make the summer.
I hope you guys heard that. That was just a little Corona joke for you guys. Had to lighten the mood just a little bit because today we're going to have a pretty serious conversation. If you guys watched my episode yesterday, I introduced to you guys the idea that words have some conscious meanings inside your mind. So let me just jump right into this for you. Have you ever heard the term, "It dawned on me," right? I was thinking about this and it just dawned on me. Have you ever heard the term enlightened? Enlighten me, right? Have you ever been watching a cartoon and seen somebody thinking about something and a light bulb started flickering above their head? When they figured it out, the light bulb stayed lit, right? That is because there are such things as exoteric and esoteric meanings. In this instance, light is an exoteric meaning for intellect, wisdom, and understanding. Okay? So this has actually been around since the dawn of man. You guys might have heard of pagans or old religions that worship the sun. That was actually an exoteric thing. Nobody really worshiped the sun. However, whether you look at this from a biblical context or a scientific context, the sun was the provider and the protector of people, right? If you're religious and you're Catholic, you believe in the Garden of Eden. We had everything provided for us in safety, right? And if you believe in science, you believe that we came from animals. We were one with nature. We didn't really worry about stuff too much because we didn't have the brains to worry about it. However, at some point in time, we're cast out of the Garden of Eden, out into the world to be one with the beasts, and that was a Christian's prerogative or scare, right? And for a scientific person, they realize that we can't compete with beasts. You can't take out a tiger as a person. You cannot kill a bear with your bare hands, right? And well, that's about it. You can't take down a cow by yourself. So, at some point in time, we ran out of resources. We started running low on resources. And one of the first smart human beings had an original thought, aka he ate from the fruit of knowledge. Now, when this happened, people entered into the Stone Age. We started using tools, whether it be wood, stone, tusks, shells. At some point in time, we lost our innocence when we started competing with neighbor tribes of other humans too. And at some point in time, you could say that we started killing one another to get these resources. And if you look at society today, we still do the same thing, right? Going into the Middle East for oil. We're going into Africa for gold. We're infiltrating other countries for technology. And other countries are doing that to us in the United States as well. But it's about this that we're going to talk today, because I'm going to tell you guys one of the biggest secrets of the world. There's a hidden religion that's been around for 6,020 years. And if you got half a brain, you might realize that that's about 4,000 exactly years above our calendar. It's very important for that. If you guys look at a US government building or a government building in any nation, you might see AL written underneath the date that it was resurrected, which might be 1850. So it would say 5850, right? It's very interesting. This religion, as I said before, basically worshiped the sun. which was symbolic. But if you guys look at mythology, you might remember a god named Prometheus that came down and gave us a little piece of the sun in the form of fire. And as I was saying before, the sun, it provides light, it provides warmth, and it provides protection. Fire did this for modern humans too. So, the people that discovered fire also got to cook their meat. If you listen to science, that broke down enzymes and proteins that enhanced our diet so that we became smarter and smarter and smarter. But there's also something else very peculiar about fire. See, the people that invented it didn't really know exactly how to maintain it, what it was. They just got over their fear of it, to be honest with you. Every other animal was afraid of it, and most other humans were too. So they were stacking stuff onto this fire to keep it going. They noticed that it was consumed. But they noticed something really peculiar when they threw rocks on top of the fire. I told you guys about rock yesterday. It's an element, it's a form of nature. But when you put a rock onto a fire, something very interesting will happen. A little liquid will trickle out. And what that becomes is metal. So, without Prometheus, without the original thought, you could not have the world that we see around us. You would be in the Stone Age. And actually, to this day, every age of man has been defined by this, right? Once we got out of the Stone Age, started getting copper, then bronze, then iron. I guess you could even say we're in like a uranium nuclear golden tech age now. To this religion, they thank the sun and they thank the fire for taking us and protecting us. These people hate God because they think that God made us less than perfect and he should have made us perfect so that we could have ruled over the world on his behalf and controlled all the beasts. Now, unfortunately, that's just a flaw in their logic because Lucifer, the sun, was also a part of creation. It's been here just as long as the earth, and maybe even longer, right? And I was talking to you guys about us going to war over resources. That is biblical. That is symbolic of the Tower of Babylon. See, as we keep going through these ages, we're getting higher and higher and higher with our intellect. We're trying to become gods. And in the Bible, once you get high enough, once you get close enough to the sun, he blows the whole fucking thing over. But there's a reason. It's their fault too. Because even though all these guys got the same goal to get up there, they want to become gods, they just fight each other the whole way. This is in the Bible. In the Tower of Babylon, before the tower was destroyed, there was different there's different languages and different races created. Now, this religion that I'm telling you guys about, its name is Mystery Babylon. You can call them Luciferians, and they call themselves the Brotherhood of the Snake. But for all purposes for the rest of this video, it's Mystery Babylon. Alright. These guys reside in every country, every religion, every organization in the world. They integrate, they say that they're a part of it, but they're not. They're all just there to blend in so that they're not caught. You might know some of these guys as the Bilderbergs, right? The Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Roshaniya, the Rose Cross, the Knights of Malta, the Knights Templar, any secret fraternity in the world. Secretly at the top, they're all controlled by Mystery Babylon. And these groups actually formed religions in an exoteric fashion in every part of the world to hold just one piece of information for the preservation of their knowledge. If you guys look at a dollar bill, on the reverse side you'll see a pyramid with an eyeball on the top of it with rays of light coming out of it. Pyramid represents the Tower of Babylon, and the eye, emitting rays, represents who sits on top. It's Lucifer, Prometheus, but in the Egyptian religion, it's Horus. So I'm going to tell you guys about that. The Egyptian religion is kind of complicated. If you guys don't have a pen and paper out right now taking notes, I don't know what you're doing. I'm giving you guys as much gravy as I possibly can. This is the biggest secret in the entire world. Take this serious. In Egypt, they believe that what we as Christians call Yahweh, or God, was a guy named Ra, right? Yah-Ra. But also Ra is the reason that we say Ray to this day, a ray of sunshine. Now Ray, or Ra, had two sons, Shu, which was air, and Tefnah, which was moisture. And he separated the two. And he didn't, no, actually those weren't separated. But Tefnah was not supposed to have kids. And Thoth, he won a contest. He took 5 days from the moon so that Tefnah could have kids. He gave birth to Geb, which was earth, and Nut, which was the sky. Ra separated those two so that they couldn't have kids. But they did. Nut gave birth to Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys. Now, we could start with Osiris. Osiris in their religion was the sun, right? It rose up in the morning, and it was the generative force of the world. It gave heat, it gave protection, but also, you know that you need sun to have plants, right? You know that Earth is often referred to as Mother Earth. So Osiris was the generative force that seeded Earth. This is where it gets complicated. Osiris was killed by his brother Set. When the sun goes down, it sets. It's dead for the day. So it was said that Set killed Osiris. That's the exoteric meaning. And they said that he was cut up into 14 pieces by Set. Isis, being the wife of Osiris, was very upset with this. And she reclaimed all of the parts that were thrown in the river by Set. 14 pieces. She gathered them, she put them together, but she noticed that the 14th piece was tainted because it was swallowed by a fish. And what they did was, she found a piece of gold, and she crafted this piece. It was the penis, the phallus of Osiris. And gold, back then, was believed to be the skin of the gods, because the sun appears to be gold in the sky. So she puts on a gold phallus. And Osiris and Isis had a kid named Horus, who becomes the sun. After 3 days, the sun was born. Hallelujah. Horus rising, horizon. Guys, we use these fucking words today. Every part of our culture, our religions, our politics is ruled by these guys. Remember I was just telling you about that golden shaft? They have one in Washington, D.C. It's called the Washington Monument. You can look in London, there's one there too. There's even one inside of the Vatican. That's what I wanted to tell you guys about today. This group has been in charge, again, for 6,020 years. And they rely on symbolism, gematria, and all this stuff to hide their secrets. But they give each other little nods and winks with the symbolism so that when a major event happens, the rest of the people on the other side of the world that don't even speak their language, they don't follow their religion, they know they were behind it. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about today. You guys might have heard of QAnon if you're like a giant Trump fan, and even if you're not, you might have heard of it. You might have heard of people talking about it. But right now, we're all sitting around thinking about Corona. You're probably at home doing a little research. You've probably heard a bunch of theories. This is 5G. The coronavirus is fake. They're trying to set up the New World Order. Guys, I'm not here to tell you that I know what's going on, but I want to tell you about a little symbolism that I picked up on. This week, coming up, we're going to have Easter Sunday, right? And you guys know what happens before that. There's Holy Thursday, which is the day that Christ was captured and put on trial by the Jews. And then on Good Friday, he was killed. If you look up last Holy Thursday, you'll happen to notice that the Mueller report was released, right? Isn't that something? Let's compare the stories. Both Robert Mueller and Pontius Pilate were given somebody that the whole world wanted to prosecute, or at least the community. And he said, look, I looked at all of this. I didn't find anything wrong. I'm going to wash my hands of this, right? They went, ugh. I washed his hands of it, and he said, do with this man what you please. Whether it's on the Thursday or Friday, the story is the same. I just found that very interesting. I was a very big QAnon supporter. I followed every single intel drop that he had. I would watch Trump speeches and just look for keywords, key phrases and stuff. Guys, I don't know what's going on, but I think it's something that you should be aware of, and maybe you can help me figure it out. That's what I got for you today. If I don't hear from you guys, I just want to say Happy Easter. God bless you guys. And also, don't despair on this. This information that I've been given, that I'm giving to you guys, has been happening for 6,000 years. It is nothing new now that you know this. But now that you are aware of this, you should just realize that materialism could be a curse. And you guys might have realized that over the past couple of weeks. You've been staying home with your families. You've been hanging out with your friends. You haven't been going out and buying everything. You haven't been working. When you're a little kid, you might notice the smallest little thing makes you happy. You might get a lollipop and just jump around. Yeah! Right? Anything can make you happy. Someone could drive by in a truck and hit his air horn, and you fucking jump up. You're stoked. You got a little bit of that as you get older. You go to high school, you're like, man, I could get a really hot girlfriend. I could become the popular guy. When you go to college, you see other stuff too, right? The world seems so fresh, so new. But as we start going to work, and all we're worrying about is paying for a mortgage, paying for a car, you seem to lose some things. I've met so many people that work 3 jobs just to buy a Corvette, and they don't get to go see their daughter play soccer games or their son play a baseball game. So to get that material, they give up everything that's important. What I'd like you guys to do, besides doing research, is make sure that you're good with your family right now. Make friends with your neighbors. Anything could happen. The economy could be shut down for a year. We might go through the most prosperous burst in history. I'm leaning towards the second one. All right? I think this whole economic system is going to collapse. We're going to have to figure out something new. We'll probably go back down to the gold standard. Kind of feel like that's Trump and Q's plan, but I'll be honest, I really don't like what I'm seeing, because we're scaring the shit out of people with this corona, and that does cause bad health, right? You could be upset, you get a stomach ache. I had a stomach ache before I made this video. It was a little nerve-wracking for me to get into, but I'm telling you guys, take care of your health first, take care of your families, and grow some of your own food, right? Learn a skill while you can. Do something with your kids that you've never done. We don't know how this is going to go, but I'm hoping for the best, and I hope you guys do too. That's what I got for you today. Have a great day.